welcome to this video. This video is a caught and cook. Yeah, that's right, a caught and cook. And if you want to know which fish I caught and I'm going to cook, I'll link that video in the description, okay? It is coalfish, yay! A lot of people ask how to cook this. This is how I cook it. Coalfish is not the most interesting fish in the world here in Norway. There are other fish here in Norway that are better than some countries, but coalfish, in my opinion, in Norway is not the pick of the bunch. In Ireland, it's my favorite fish. Here, I don't know what it is. Maybe they grow too fast or something. But here, they're not my favorite. Cod's fantastic. Pollock is fantastic. These fish are all better than they are in Ireland, but coalfish is not one of them, in my opinion. Today, we're going to have fish cakes with coleslaw and a mustard sauce. That's what I'm going to do today, okay? And I'm going to walk you through the ingredients as I go, right? So first of all, what you need to do is peel and chop 3 potatoes. There you go. So the potatoes I'm choosing to use for this are pinks. Yes, these are good for mashed potato, right? There are a lot of potatoes in the world, but here in Norway, this is the most common one, and it's a very versatile spud. Yes, that's what all Irishmen look for in a potato. Versatility. Yeah. So you boil them in some salted water until they're cooked. So while the potatoes are cooking, I'll talk about the ratio of potatoes to fish you'll need, right? There should not be too little potatoes and there should not be too much fish. There's about 400 grams of potatoes there and there's 700 grams of fish. The other ingredients for this are 2 eggs. This one apparently is still attached to a chicken. Shows they're fresh, right? You're going to need a shallot or some of it. This is instead of chives, right? Normally I use chives, but I couldn't get chives. And a lemon. Yes, you're going to need the zest off this. You're going to use the juice in the sauce. Yes. And last but not least, some parsley. Yes. And you'll also need some breadcrumbs. That's rice. You will also need some panko or breadcrumbs and some spices to mix through this. What I like is onion powder, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, paprika, Chinese 5 spice, and of course, salt and pepper. So that's pretty much what you need for the fish cakes. So while the potatoes are boiling, I am going to poach the fish. And to poach the fish, I'm going to poach it in some milk. This is for many different reasons. One was the fish was frozen as coalfish. It might get a bit dry. It was vac bagged, so that really isn't an issue. But if it wasn't, this is definitely the way to go. But poaching it is just a good way to go. I'm going to fry this fish anyway, so it's going to have more fat in it at the end. And to do that, I'm going to poach it in some milk. And over here, I have the poaching liquor. And that is a litre of milk, a handful of black peppercorns and a couple of bay leaves. That's what that is. And it is important that you don't boil this because it makes the milk weird. So you have to kind of keep your eye on it. Just bring it up to a simmer and keep it there and then place the fish in it. It will take about 5 or 6 minutes for the fish to cook all the way through. Then you take it off, let the fish cool. And before you poach it, you need to skin it and take the bones out. So there we have it. Load of rib bones. Just going to cut those away. There we go, and just a few. Just feel with your finger. You can feel those bones. You can pick these out with the tweezers if you want, but I'm not really messing around here. I am not short a bit of fish. You know what I'm saying? So now you cut it into chunks that are manageable. Not too small though. That should do the job, right? And when the liquor comes up to temperature, you just plop your fish in and just leave it there for 5 to 6 minutes. It's easy to tell when it's cooked. Just give it a poke with a fork, right? Open up if you have to. It's okay if it's a little bit overdone because this is a fish cake, right? And it's unlikely that you will ever notice. But it is good that everything is moist and not dry, okay? So I have the fish poaching away. So I am going to get on with the slaw, the coleslaw, yes. So for the coleslaw, you will need, these ingredients vary. Normally I will use what I call a pointy cabbage. I don't actually know the actual name for it because it was here in Scandinavia where I found this first of all and started making coleslaw first of all here. And it's called a pointy red cabbage or a pointy white cabbage. These are obviously round white cabbages and the other ones are red round cabbages. But whatever they're actually called in English, that's what you need. They don't need as much care as these do. What actually cooks coleslaw, and coleslaw is cooked in a scientific term, is vinegar. And that will devour this and make it, and this, more edible than it would have been before. Coleslaw is extremely old. I actually looked into it one time. Hundreds of years ago, in Holland it first reared its lovely face. Yeah, coleslaw. We get with the chopping. Only need half. I'm cutting this as thin as possible. Normally I will use a mandolin, but I don't have one. So that's as much as I need. Now you'll need half an onion. Onion, carrot, grater, grate. So, what you will need to make the coleslaw is some pickling vinegar, some mayonnaise, salt and pepper, and some natural yogurt. Yes. So the way I do this is, first of all, I put in the vinegar. Sometimes it goes weird if you do the vinegar last. So how much vinegar should you put in it? That depends on how vinegary you like it. But you need enough to get it cooking. So I'd say, I'm just gonna guess what I do with this. Four tablespoons. Salt and pepper to taste. Now, yogurt, a fair bit of it. Now, this depends on your taste as well. How much yogurty sauce do you want, or how little yogurty sauce do you want? I like it a lot. Most of it gets left behind anyway. So, yogurty stuff, in it goes. That's about half a tub. Okay. Mayonnaise. Once again, it's down to preference. I usually do about 3 tablespoons. 3! Now you just mix that all around and just leave it to cook. Get everything all broken up and mixed together. So, I'm going to put that in the fridge with a plate over it and leave it to cook for an hour or so. Or more, depends. This cabbage will take a long time. As I was saying, the pointy cabbage, you can eat it more or less straight away. But this is going to take a while. You're going to need to let it sit. Yes. So the fish is cooked. The potatoes are boiled. So now you need to let them cool, because if you don't, they'll cook the egg when you put it in. And that's a weird scrambled egg and coalfish potato omelette is not something that you will enjoy. Not unless you're a complete weirdo. Right, so, so let those cool, yes. 2 eggs. Whip them. The fish and the potatoes have nearly cooled. I have roughly mashed the potatoes with a fork and I have broken the fish up with my fingers. It's a good idea to use your fingers, that way you can feel any bones if you have missed them. Because the last thing you want when you're eating a nice fish cake is to be choking on a fish bone. So I like to go through it with my fingers, saves a lot of problems. So then you just mix these together. Okay, so that's that portion done. Now you need, this is up to yourself, but I'm going to put a whole finely diced shallot into this, okay? Depends how much you like this. I would actually go with chives if you can get them, right? Yes. One shallot. So it's important that it is actually finely diced, because you don't want raw onion in this. This will cook in the pan later when I'm frying the cakes. Yes. What else you will need for this, and this is very nice, is some lemon zest. You don't need any juice or anything else, just the yellow part of the lemon. Don't take the white part, it's bitter. I like to use a whole lemon, but that is again a preference thing. This is the worst microplane I've ever used. Anyway, so no fear of taking any of the white with this thing anyway. But it got the job done. There you go. Zest. So now I just mix that through before I put the eggs in, obviously, because you're going to have a problem if you put the eggs in and then try to mix it through. So mix it through first. So another essential is some parsley. And out here, this stuff is kind of hard to get hold of, so I am indeed blessed. So we get with the chopping. Stalks and all, right? Get it all in there. Mix that through too. So just to recap, for this you need either chives or a shallot or even just a normal onion, it doesn't matter. Just finely chopped, really finely chopped so it cooks. You'll need some lemon zest, some parsley, salt and pepper, and 2 eggs, depending on their size, and coalfish. Or any type of fish you like, really. It doesn't work very well with oily fish, mostly white fish it works well with. Okay, so either 1 large egg or 2 small eggs. That's it. So I've already whipped it, so it's not a problem mixing it through the fish. In it goes. And this is only just to help it stick together so you can actually make the cakes out of it and it doesn't fall apart when you're frying it. Sometimes potatoes can get a bit weird then when you've mashed them and you try to fry them. It's just a potato thing, right? On to the next step. So the next step is you can do this whatever way you want, but I find it easier this way. I use these bags for other things afterwards, like breading fish and other such things like that. So it's not actually that wasteful if you think that, don't worry. There's no way to get around using plastic these days. You just have to think about what you're doing. Also, the cooking liquid from the fish actually, you can save that, freeze it, and use that for chowder. It's almost like stock right now, so you can use that for a chowder if you're gonna make chowder later on in the week. That's actually what I use it for when I do this. And it also saves you a bit of effort as well. And the goodness of the coalies in it. The goodness of the coalie. So, in with your breadcrumbs. As much as you need. I need quite a bit. Do I need to bore you with this? Yeah, sure, why not? Salt, pepper, cayenne pepper. That's up to you how much of this you use. I only like a little. Sweet paprika powder. That's hard to say. I like more of that. Garlic powder, a little. Onion powder, a lot. And then last but not least, and use it sparingly, is Chinese 5-spice. There we go. Oh, it smells fantastic. Now it's nice and mixed together. So now you roll your fish in it. So first of all, what you do is you make a patty. And there we go, right? That's it. That's the size I like them. Roll them around in your breadcrumbs, that's it. Get them nice and coated. You can shape them a little bit more, flatten them out, make them pretty, whatever you like. So I'm gonna make up a couple of these and then we're gonna fry them up. So now the sauce, this is really quick, right? You're gonna need a little bit of olive oil, avocado oil. You're gonna need some Dijon mustard, a lemon, and some dill. Preferably fresh, this is frozen. And if you're really hard up, you can use dried. I don't like dried herbs, I'd sooner not use them, but if you haven't got anything else, if that's what you like, go ahead and use it. But I'm gonna go with this, frozen. Yeah. 1 tablespoon of Dijon, that's the way I'm going with this. Splash of olive oil. There we go. Let's squeeze a lemon. As for acidity. And then your dill. There we go, that should do the job. And this is already frozen, so I don't have to try too hard. Just break that up, put it in there. That's it, that's all I need, just a tiny bit. Then just incorporate that. That's it, and you obviously a bit of salt and pepper, yeah? That's it there. Smells great. So that's the sauce. Quick and easy, yes, and tasty as well. I don't need a lot, it's just me. So let's get on with the fish. So it's now time to fry the fish cakes. And I like to fry these on a medium heat, you don't want them to burn. Okay, so just take your time with them. Anyway, the longer you cook them and the slower you cook them, the nicer they are, so long as the oil wasn't cold when you put them in, obviously. You have to get the oil up to temperature, then put them in. Yes, and adjust accordingly. It doesn't take long to cook them. I like to cook them both sides, and depending on how thick they are, sometimes on the side also. So, that is it. Yes. Nice. This is Billy cooking. Wherever you are in the world, remember, I'll see you on the beach. Bye.